No worries.
What?
They've like mixed my post with this post. Sanjay and I are live in 10 minutes. Nice. Oh, shit. Yup. Oh yeah. Penis.
Let's get that going. Mute this. Close that. Close this. All right, and I'll start recording. Okay, we are live, fellas. So let me get rid of all this nonsense. All right, sweet. Well, here we are. Thanks again, guys, and I appreciate your patience, like I said, on that prep work. So yeah, welcome. This is The Virus. If you guys aren't familiar with the podcast at all, and for you viewers who aren't familiar with the podcast, this is not a COVID-19 podcast, but instead one where we have contagious combos and viral viewpoints. And so in this particular episode, we are going to be heavily discussing death metal. So hopefully we got a lot of death metal traffic, and yeah, just buckle up and kick back as we kind of kick back here with Sanjay and Sunil Kumar. And welcome, guys. How you doing?
All right. Thank you for having us, man.
Dude, absolutely. It's my pleasure. And I will say, before we start, I appreciate you guys making the time. A lot of us are busy, and so I do realize that you guys, carve out time to do that. And so I appreciate that. You made time for me, and you made time for the viewers and fans too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, we got some questions. It's gonna be pretty question based. I got a lot of questions, and then we got some questions from the viewers that we got submitted to us as well. So hopefully you guys are okay with answering some questions. Nice. So okay, well, yeah, man. I think we should just get right into it. I did my best to kind of prep this out in order of, it was just a hot mess for a while there, so I spent probably 2 or 3 hours just organizing the format of how I should answer these questions and what seemed appropriate. So hopefully I didn't slaughter it. Hopefully I didn't shit the bed. All right, so yeah, let's just get into it here. Basically, A lot of these questions are just for, the viewers to kind of allow us to get to know you a little bit better, your journey to where you guys are at now. And, also just to be able to contribute, if you guys like contributing to the metal scene or just anybody in general, it's just a good platform to just kind of provide and contribute and give a little bit of insight into the music industry or whatever it is you'd like to. So that's kind of the purpose I imagined for this episode anyway. So yeah, for people who are unfamiliar with you guys and your band, which is Wormhole, what's your guys' story? Like in a nutshell, can you tell us a little bit about your journey to where you're at right now? Like in a nutshell, maybe in like a tight little package, if you will.
I think we started the way that a lot of bands are starting out today, which is in our bedrooms. And we just wanted to put some music together. We brothers, we grew up together, lived in the same house. So that's just how it started. Is we wanted to make music and we were trying to figure out how to do it. We wanted to put it out. Had to figure out how to do that. Wanted to go on tour. It's just one thing at a time, and I don't really know how we got to where we are. I don't know how we got here.
It's just all blur now, I imagine. Well, that's awesome. So it sounds like it's just that classic, striving band scenario where everybody's just, starting out, hanging out and creating music and just putting in that hard legwork to try to get noticed. And it sounds like you guys have been noticed.
To be fair, we didn't get noticed on purpose.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would say things happen when they're supposed to, maybe, so that it worked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we got pretty lucky in the area we're from. Baltimore isn't really like known as like a staple city for metal, I think, or death metal. But like, there's so many solid musicians around here that we were able to be exposed to and play with, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Situation,
Yeah, it's funny how things work out, but it sounds like it just all the stars and we're just aligned at the right time for you guys. So I just love stories like that, to be honest. I like those stories where things are just, they happen when they're supposed to, for the positive and for that goal to be accomplished,
Right.
I bet it feels good, right?
I don't know, it's kind of on pause right now. But it'll feel good later.
Yeah, well, I know if you're probably referring to the fact that nobody's playing shows right now, I imagine, right? That's definitely devastating for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are feeling that impact, and so we definitely feel for you. And I feel for you guys because you guys really just put out The Weakest Among Us in January, right, of last year. And so you guys were just getting geared up for the tours, and you guys are getting ready to hit the scene extra hard. And so I definitely sympathize for you guys, because that negatively impacted your guys' momentum. And I totally understand that.
Yeah, we try not to think about that.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, and I got questions kind of revolving around that too, as far as, what you guys are doing with the time, and, how you got, to your point about band members and people in that area. I got a few questions along those lines. So, well, that's great, man. I appreciate that. What are some other places besides Baltimore? Is it Baltimore or is it a different city in Maryland?
It's Baltimore.
It's Baltimore? Okay. So any other places that you guys have lived prior to Baltimore that had, what were the music scenes like there?
Always Baltimore.
Really? Okay. Nice. I didn't realize until I looked it up just literally today. I knew it was on the East Coast, but I didn't know you guys were so close to Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Really close to D.C., really close to Philadelphia, like smack in between two big cities. We have like this kind of little medium city in the middle.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't notice that. So you guys are just like kitty corner from all that chaos that was going on at the Capitol there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at least you weren't near it. I mean, I guess you were near it, but at least you weren't involved in it.
I teach a dude who had to go patrolling the city after, when all that shit was going down.
National Guard.
Yeah, the National Guard.
Oh.
So like he would come to his guitar lesson after he spent like 8 hours like driving around DC. And I taught him how to play Romanzo on guitar.
Right on. Yeah, small world, right? That's crazy. So he probably wasn't there when all that was going down, right? I imagine he got called in after they realized there was an issue going on.
Yeah, after day one, like they had people patrolling like 24/7, like National Guard, and yeah, that was my dude.
Crazy, man. Yeah, it's intense, man. So I definitely respect the National Guard and the Army and guys like that step up to the plate when shit hits the fan, you know?
Yeah, probably didn't expect, he was going to be dealing with something quite as heavy as that when he joined the National Guard.
Right. I don't think anybody expected that one. That was definitely way out of the norm. That was pretty intense and extreme. Even for us crazy ass Americans. All right. Well, yeah. So just to, if my research is accurate, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. You guys formed in 2015 and released your single, The Existence Gap. Then following that, had another single with the Nurtured and a Poisoned Womb. And then shortly after that, you guys had your first full length in Genesis. And then just last year in January, you had your other full length, The Weakest Among Us. Is that kind of a accurate track record?
Yep. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, and I hadn't heard Genesis all the way through. I've heard a few songs, but I did listen to all of it the night before last. Really solid too, man. I mean, obviously, The Weakest Among Us is the one that caught my personal attention. After hearing that, like many others in the metal community, that one just really hit me, man. It just got a lot of good feel-good riffs, the good mixture of tech and slam, just all the two highly admired, or I guess attractive riffs in metal, I would say. You guys did a good job of really just kind of incorporating those and making it tasteful, not just slapping riffs together, but really structuring it really well.
Right. Yeah. That was not the whole emphasis on the entire record. Yeah.
It shows, man. It came through really well. So kudos on that for sure. And I think a lot of people will probably agree with us as well. And so, yeah, to you, to the viewers that are, you guys are on here. Let me know if there's, let me know if there's something going on with the audio or video, and I will let you guys know if I can address that or not. Let me know if you guys can at least hear the audio, and I'll definitely get to you guys' questions as we get through this too. So, yeah, for some reason they say the video might be off, so I'll verify that with one of their comments, and if so, I'll give that just a quick little look and see if there's something I'm not seeing there. But anyways, would you guys say your sound, given the time period I just gave and the albums I just went through, would you guys say your sound has evolved since 2015?
Our sound will always be evolving, I hope.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good mindset to approach it with too.
Our Genesis was when we finished the album, Sanjay described it as like a collection of doodles. And I think that's what it was. Like, it's like drawings you made in your little notebook at school, and then you just put them together. And that's what Genesis was.
Okay.
We didn't have this big idea or this big theme to connect all this. It was just, I like this band, I'm going to write a song like this. I like this band, I'll write a song. And we put them together.
We didn't figure out Tech Slam until after that. Like, after we made that, was kind of like, oh, it's kind of like Tech Slam.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we just do Tech Slam?
Nice. That was kind of like Pandora's box and
Yeah.
your opening to the rabbit hole. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's funny you said that, because to me there was a lot of tech slam in Genesis. I mean, it probably definitely was more emphasized in this later album, but you definitely had a lot of Tech Slam riffs in Genesis as well.
It was definitely like either by accident or because it was like, fuck it.
I was just something like we really like tech death and we really like slam, so that's the music we wanted to write, and it just happened that they mix into each other.
Nice. Yeah, I like that, man. It worked very well, and I think a lot of people, like I said, really enjoy those two subgenres because you know, it's weird how metal has just got so many subgenres now, but I would say out of all of them, those are the two best ones in my opinion, and I would say a lot of others as well that are into the metal. So that's good, man. Let me give me 1 second, guys. Apparently the video is not working, so I won't spend too much time on this, but I do want to see if there's something going on that I am not seeing. That is so weird. Yeah, you guys know how it goes, right? Fun stuff. Well, we might have to. That's too bad because I know you guys. I seen you guys working on the lighting. You guys got the. You guys got
I changed my shirt for this.
I know, right? You guys got the. You set the mood, man. I feel bad now. Let me see here. Yeah, because this should have been. Well, let me try this really quick. Yeah, it should have been working. That's, well, we might have to just deal with it. At least we got the audio, man. I don't know what else to do about it at this point because I would hate to have to stop the stream and then come back. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a bummer. Unless I stop this video. Let me experiment with this real quick. Yeah, that's so weird because you guys can see me just fine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the back of you.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna have to just go with that. That's too bad. I think what I'll do is I should be able to record this at least, so maybe I can post this after the fact. All right. Well, so apologies, guys. Like I said, man, there's always something new that pops up with the streaming. It seems like. And I used to have another guy I started this with, but he has exited, so it's just a solo project now. And he was my tech guy, so.
Oh no.
Right? But okay. Well, let me just power through this. At least Spotify, this is going on Spotify and Anchor FM, and so we'll still have a bunch of audio. I'll at least post the audio on all these pages. So I know you guys got all pretty for this and set the mood, so I apologize for that.
Cool, man. No sweat.
Maybe next time I'll have it locked down pat so we know exactly what's going on. All right, well, let me get on to the next question here. So this is a question I had. I know that you kind of answered this a little bit. I think it was Sanjay. I can't really see you because I got now my back of the head's to the screen, but I think you said you don't know how you guys got to where you're at right now, but my question is, like, what was your defining moment, if there was, that you can think of? Like, what was your big break in this process, if in this journey that got you? Like, was there a moment that was just like aha, or someone noticed you? You said you didn't get noticed on purpose. Can you elaborate on that maybe?
Okay, I think that our big break wasn't really a big break. I think our big break was just being, like, just making a band and, like, communicating with people like around us and like making friends, making partnerships, like just knowing people, and then like, you know, not being a douchebag. So that like when people think about like us, like they think about the band in like a positive light. So yeah, I feel like I mean, we started the band by like when we had Duncan doing vocals, like we reached out to him and made a relationship with him, and that's how he became part of the band. And he was like a big, I guess, promo for our initial thing. But I mean, the big break was, I think just like,
oh, we can't.
What?
Our biggest break is yet to come.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Without giving too much away. Yeah. No, I gotcha.
Well, like it like big break isn't like, I don't even think really a thing.
Yeah.
Like you do things, you do productive things, and then eventually like it pays off, and that's your big break. It's not really a big break. You've been working on it forever,
Yeah.
and it came to you when it was when you had done what you needed to do. So.
Yeah, I like that. That's explained really well. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of my previous podcasts, but usually when I'm not having a guest, I highly focus on like self-improvement, and I'm a big advocate of consistency, volume, and that's exactly what you're talking about. Repetition, consistency, and volume, and it will pay off. So I love that. Very nice, man. Well, I'm happy for you guys that it just kind of worked out, and you guys earned it. Sounds like you guys put in the work, so you guys have earned it. So yeah, I'm gonna get into the title Wormhole. This interests me. I'm gonna give you the definition of what I came up with. You know, I Googled it, and then I want to kind of ask you a question. So the definition apparently is a speculative structure linking two disparate points in space-time, a connecting of two black holes, if you will. Is there any? What's the significance of that name, if there is any?
To me, I really like big space stuff and like PBS Space Time and Kurzgesagt and all those YouTube channels and stuff. So I just love the concept of a wormhole. And black holes and any spacey stuff, I'm into it. And I think we always had because of the, you know, we grew up with Star Wars, Metroid, and Doom and stuff like that. So the sci-fi element was always there.
We like sci-fi.
We're big sci-fi kids.
Nice. Yeah, man.
From my perspective, because I think I was one who proposed the name Wormhole first, but it's a space word. It sounds cool. It looks cool when you write it out. That was like for me. There was less to it besides sounds cool, because I don't know as much about space shit as Noni does.
That's the answer we give in these interviews, but the real answer is
Yeah, the real answer is way worse.
Abominable Putridity had their song Wormhole Inversion, and we just took it from there.
Nice. Yeah, I love that album too. That was a really good. I like that track. I know exactly what that sounds like.
We're firm believers that sounding cool is way more important than any meaning at all. Like whatever meaning you have behind this
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter if it doesn't sound cool. Like
Phonetically or linguistically or
yeah.
on paper, it's got to be.
It's gotta sound cool on surface value for me to give a shit about it anymore. You know.
I think you got a point there, because I would argue that like most death metal bands focus on the sound of it being cool before anything. It might be there's a certain amount that maybe focus on the concept, but I think you nailed it. I think they wanted to just have an impact of cool sounding.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, it is definitely interesting, and it interested me when I seen it. I was like, Wormhole, what is that? And you know, off the top of my head, I just thought it was a black hole, which essentially it is, but there's a little more of an in-depth description of it apparently. Do you guys remember? Because usually when bands get together, you know, sometimes they're like, oh, you know, especially if there's not a name established, they're like, oh, what do we call ourselves? And you have a handful of band names that you haven't decided on yet. Was there other band names you guys that was a potential possibility prior to Wormhole, or was it just that's it?
One of the potential ones was named after a Metroid Prime boss, Helios.
Nice.
We were looking for some weirder stuff, and I came up with one called like Zalat with an X. It was some like Aztec word.
Too much.
That was too much.
Too much. Can't spell it. If you can't spell it on hearing it and you're not like a meme, like that's tough.
I agree. Nice. Yeah, that stuff's funny, man. Just hearing about all the names that go through, you know, it's just too many options. So I like Helios, so that's a good one too.
Yeah. I think somebody ended up taking it. There's a Helios tech band.
Yeah, no matter how unique you think the band name is, there's always somebody else with the band name, at least that has one of few words in their band name, I found out.
There was a Wormhole before us, but they like capitalized the H as well as the W, so at least we're not exactly the same.
I think I've seen them too. They're definitely not the same genre either.
Definitely not the same.
Right on. Well, that's cool, man. And you mentioned Metroid Prime, and talking about the concept art of Metroid, of your guys's The Weakest Among Us. Now, I noticed, I didn't know this, but you guys got that drawn up by Pedro Sina. How was, and he's also doing our art piece right now, literally. What was it like working with him?
I think he's great.
He's awesome.
He's so good. He's always super responsive, professional, which like doesn't sound like, it sounds like something that should be a given. But
Right.
when you're working with, you know, random artists here and there, it's kind of hard sometimes to find somebody as responsive and as attentive as he is.
Yeah.
He also really considered like a lot of our, or like really, when we asked for changes, he made those changes. When we had specific changes we wanted. And he's also like, he's really into like Doom and World of Warcraft and stuff. So like he kind of got
Yeah, he knows the vibe. He knows the vibe that we were going for.
Nice.
Like if you look at The Weakest Among Us, like that's a fucking Doom character, basically.
Yeah, it is. I noticed that. Yeah. I didn't know there was a Metroid Prime reference to it until I seen it on the picture, I think, because I was also looking at his site before we actually hired him. And I was like, oh, it did the artwork for Wormhole and many other sick-ass bands. I was like, whoa.
Describe the art for The Weakest Among Us as Metroid Galactic Federation Marines shooting or getting killed by Omega Pirate from Metroid Prime, but with the head of Mancubus from Doom. I think that's like explicitly basically what we told Pedro to make.
There's bound to be somebody that understood.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you send him like a long, lengthy message of all these details, or was it pretty?
We gave example images for some of the characters, and we told him the color palette.
As soon as I said Doom, he said like, say no more, I got you.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. So yeah, I that excites me because like I said, as far as my experience goes with him, he is very professional, and I mean, it's without saying that his art is all just sick as fuck. I mean, all of his pieces, I haven't found one piece in his gallery that I didn't like, really. It's just all really good. So that's cool, man. Yeah, when I seen that, I got excited. I was like, this is cool, man. Just I noticed that kind of goes with the metal scene. They kind of stick with who's good at something, whether it's recording, artwork. It just kind of, there's a go-to guy in that industry, you know?
Yeah, Pedro's definitely the go-to slam art. Hi-fi looking slam, vibrant shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So let's see. So do you guys play? It sounds like, I mean, that's a no-brainer. You guys have played Metroid Prime, right?
We played Metroid Prime.
At least every year, probably.
What was the last game made by them? What platform or console?
The last Metroid game was either Metroid Prime Federation Force, which was like the DS game, was pretty shitty, or it was the Metroid 2 remake on 3DS, which was fucking phenomenal.
What console was that for?
Those are both on 3DS.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, but the last like true Metroid game was like Metroid the Other M, which I finally played last year. I've been putting it off because I've always heard it was shit, and I was like, I love Metroid, but I'm not gonna play this one because I'm a dickhead. But I finally played it, and it was amazing. Like it got so much, it got such a bad rep, but it's a great game. If you like any Metroid anything, you will enjoy the gameplay of this game.
Nice, man. Yeah, I thought it was a really good game too, but I don't even remember. It's years ago when I played it, so I don't remember what platform that was or what console that was on. Rather,
it was like I think it was like towards the middle of the Wii life cycle came out, and it wasn't like came out, got a lot of bad press, and then got forgotten about.
Yeah, they need to bring it back then, right? There needs to be a remake.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't care. They don't care about Metroid. They really don't care. They only care about maintaining their mental or whatever the fuck cease and desist orders. That's what they really care about.
Right. Oh, that's funny. It's all about business, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Let's start getting in. So I kind of broke these up into segments here. These are some of the fan questions. I got a couple other ones that I put in a different segment that were relative. So these are a few main ones here. And so let's just start with this one. How do you guys manage to combine tech and slam to be fluid and natural?
I think we have a lot of approaches to it. We'll probably give two different answers. I'm going to say one of the approaches one of the things I think about is song structure. Like there's going to be points in songs where you're going to need something different. You're going to need to change it up somehow. And, at that point, like changing from, one radical style or a tech or to the slam or slam to the tech, like it's not even like you're forcing it in at that point. It's like the structure and the song demands that you make that change. So it happens on its own. So I just think about the way it's placed in the structure. It's everything, and playing off of the tension, what's there. It's not really about trying to get this riff next to this riff. It's about what does the song want to happen next? Does it want something different? No, then I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Does it want something different? Well, then I need to come up with something different to offset, if I've done a bunch of chugs, then maybe I need to offset it with something a little more melodic or higher register, wider intervals.
To add to Noni, that was one perspective that of course I agree with it. And the other part of it is like, once you have that song structure, it's all about transitions. Mm-hmm. Like, if you can have a great riff, but if you can't transition to another great riff, like, I don't care. Like, you gave me the great riff, but didn't follow it up appropriately, and then it smoothly move into something else. So that riff might have had impact, but you lost it right afterwards. So it's all about like stringing meaningful events together in a meaningful order, and not just like you have to think about it like an upwards curve, and not like jagged shit all over the place.
Yeah, I appreciate that explanation. It totally makes a lot of sense. I mean, you kind of nailed it when you said it's the transitions and the bridges. Those are what tie two fantastic riffs together, especially like you were saying, if the riff demands it. It's a great way to bring those together in a tasteful, smooth way. I like that.
Call me a snob right now, but most bands do like this, they stick to this formula, which is so easy to break out of, but it's like they have a riff, play the riff 4 times, like almost copy paste, move to the next riff, play 8 times, almost copy paste, etc. But like all right, if you got a riff, you got like different blocks of that riff. You have this riff, you're having it play 4 times. Like, change the fucking blocks. Like, you have to just change one note or something to just make it a little bit more interesting so that you can go to another riff without some abrupt change there. Like, play this one riff 3 times the same way, whatever. 4th time, change it up to lean into your next riff a little bit. I don't know. I tell this shit in my guitar lessons all the time. It's one of the things that I always get people to do. It's so easy. You just got to do it and like try doing it.
Try to do it.
And like it's a guarantee to make your riff go from a 3 to an 8.
Yeah. I think
It really is context. Like, I mean, Sanjay says like the right transition, but also sometimes maybe the context of the song, maybe you do want a really sudden change.
Yeah,
you have to be ready to, you know, there's no rules here. It's very arbitrary.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally understand what you guys are saying. It's
so basically we just don't. We think that you should just try your best to not like be basic, kind of.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Honestly, I mean, that's good basic advice, is to just say not to be basic. I love that. And what you're talking about is trying to incorporate a lot of variations into the mix, you know, not being so mundane and just and predictable. That's what you guys are talking about. I love that, because that's what catches my attentions in a good band too. And that's definitely how I've approached my writing, which I honestly think why your band caught my attention, because not like trying to compare myself at all to you. I mean, you guys are like on another level, but there were some similarities that I noticed in my writing style or with your guys' writing style, more particularly is with the bridges and transitions that you explained. And I like that, because I can relate big time.
You gotta keep the listener on their toes.
Yeah. So another fan question. Who are the most influential bands in your writing style?
I think there are 4 that can really classify all of the sounds that we do. I guess I'll do them in order of chronological order. All right, first one was Necrophagus.
Nice.
Epitaph, yeah, we love Epitaph. After that came Abominable Putridity, Anomalies of Artificial Origin.
That's when the slam stuff started.
That's when the slam stuff started.
Nice.
The next few kind of came around the same time, but I'd say Defeated Sanity first.
Okay.
That's where, like, before Defeated Sanity, I wasn't into like grimy shit. I like a little bit of shitty production, and I like things to be a little bit less hi-fi. Number 4, Artificial Brain. That's kind of where I do all, like, why we like to do those like feelsy rips and stuff like that. Dissonant sort of style. Dissonant that's not really dissonant, it's all diatonic, but I don't know. Don't really know how to explain why people call it dissonance, but it's because it's so melodic.
Yeah, the last band I had never heard of. What was the last band name again that you said?
Artificial Brain.
Artificial Brain. I'm gonna have to check them out. Yeah, I haven't heard of them yet.
You'll love it. I guarantee. If you like the melodic parts of us, you'll love Artificial Brain.
Oh yeah, I love melody too. Absolutely. That's cool, man. Is that kind of the same for you, Sunil? Same four bands, or you got different ones?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, there's some more and more stuff, you know, less and less, or more, I don't know what I'm saying. More and more, I think we kind of draw stuff from other places too now. Like
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion. I have a riff on the next record that was really inspired by the Luigi's Mansion soundtrack.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's just like small stuff that you listen to. Like maybe in a pop song, I'll hear something, or Sanjay will be working on a beat, or he'll be working on a beat himself, and find some concept, some weird interval. Like, oh, I'll turn this into a wormhole riff.
Nice. I wouldn't expect that from a pop culture I wouldn't expect that. When you say that, I don't know why. I'm just thinking of like Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, and I definitely don't think you're drawing inspiration from them.
I have to say something on that now, because Taylor Swift, a lot of her vocal lines, she's just doing one note over and over. So it's not, she's using her voice very percussively. It's not about the pitch at all. And I think that's super important that metal vocalists can look at, because metal vocals aren't about the pitch.
All rhythm.
It's all rhythm. She manages to make it so catchy. And, you know, she's got millions of people listening to her music. She's not using pitch either.
Well, she is, but she's using one.
She's using one of them. But metal vocalists can, you know, you can look to the stuff she's coming up with and kind of, I think, take ideas for your vocal patterns.
Dude, yeah, idea for any metal vocalist listening right now: steal the rhythm from a Katy Perry vocal line. Just steal the rhythm. Use it for something. Take the rhythm, use it for anything.
Write this down, guys. That's awesome. No, and there's some truth to that, because I know what you're saying. Rhythmic patterns are very key to catching attention too. That it's what catches the ear, I think, more than tone. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. But you're right. I mean, I'm kind of joking around with Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, but they're definitely they're smart. They know what they're doing, and so I mean, they're not where they're at for no reason. All right. Another question for the fans. They want to know if you guys are going to be selling tabs at all for any of your songs.
Look at the Facebook page next week.
Oh shit, that soon? Yep. You guys are on it.
If you took a peek at the merch store right now, the listing's already up there. We just haven't, it says coming soon because we just haven't dropped them yet.
Nice. Well, there you go, guys. Keep an eye out for all you guys that want to cover these songs and get some of their style incorporated into your style. That's coming soon. Sweet. Well, let's see here. So here's these are questions I'm interested in too, and I think a lot of local bands and up and coming bands are kind of interested in these. So these are band advice questions, I would call them. What is one mistake that you guys have made in this industry that other local beginner bands should avoid?
What mistake?
Yeah.
Releasing the record too early without figuring out if we can get a real drummer.
If you can get what going?
Okay, Genesis had fake drums on it. Biggest regret ever. Like, we had a drummer who was like available, but like shit was just it was tough. But we should have just held out for a little longer, I think, and then just got the real drums, because I don't know, the guy that we had, he's in the band now, Matt. If we just had Matt like on Genesis would have been way better. So yeah, it's fine to write music without a band. Like do that. It's how you make music. But don't dismiss getting real people if it's a possibility for you, because they're probably better than you at their thing, you know? A real drummer is definitely better than me at writing drum parts, for example.
I don't think any drummers out there listen to Genesis.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I guess, would you call that, do they, you know, when there's I feel like there's a term, an internet band at that point? Is that a thing? Are you considered an internet band if your drums are programmed?
I mean, we were definitely an internet band when that record came out.
Yeah, part of the reason why that did have fake drums on it, because like we didn't really care. Like, remember how I told you we didn't need for any of this? Like, yeah. So, like, I don't know. The quality that we were shooting for was not a 10. It was like a 6 or 7.
Right on. I mean, it turned out good, given all the circumstances, in my opinion. So Sanjay, you programmed those drums?
It was both of us.
Okay.
I added in like the fine details and stuff like that. But I mean, like, I didn't, like, we had an outline for every song of what the drums were going to be.
Nice. It still turned out pretty good, you know, And considering you guys were the ones that wrote the drums, I know what you're saying though. Like a drummer could definitely, if he can't play to the track, he can definitely write the drums better because that's his craft, that's his instrument. So that makes sense. Right on. Well, that's good. That's good advice, I think. Just being a little patient is kind of what you guys are basically saying.
Yeah.
Here's another one. What is one thing that you wish you would have known before starting this musical path?
Okay, before starting this musical path, we're talking pre-Wormhole. Like, I'm talking our local band days. I wish I had known. I wish that I'd spoken up more a lot. Sometimes I think I see this in other musicians too, other local guys that I talk to, or other guys online I talk to, where like they don't, maybe they don't have the confidence in themselves or their own ability to speak up on something. Like maybe, I want the drum part a certain way, but the drummer doesn't want it, or it doesn't like it that way, or he's playing it differently. Sometimes I would, just kind of think like, oh, well, he's the drummer. Maybe he knows better. If he hears it that way, there must be a reason for it. And not really speaking up about it. There's more than just drumming, obviously. Especially with mixes and mastering. There's a lot of stuff on like the Genesis production that no fault of the producer, it didn't turn out the way that we wanted. And, I think
I mixed Genesis.
Or Sanjay mixed Genesis.
That's why it sucked.
It's not that bad, man.
In the mastering, I think I wish that I had said, or we had said more and spent a little more time on that. We thought we were talking to a producer, so he knew what to do. If he heard it a certain way, then he must know better than us. And, I wish I'd spoken up more. And then I know other bands, too, that I've been talking to that are, like, releasing music soon. And one of them, they're releasing an album or an EP this month. And I know that the guys aren't really psyched on the vocal. And I think they never really thought that their band could be a top-tier band. They never thought that they could push themselves to put out a record as good as the ones they listen to. But when I listen to it, like, all the riffs are great, the production's great, the vocals aren't so good, but all he had to do was say something, and it would have turned out that way. Yeah. It would have really been top tier. So that's my thing. I wish I trusted myself a little more and spoke up about it. And I'm sure that there's at least one person out there listening that I'm sure resonates with that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. What about you, Sanjay? Is there anything in particular that you can think of that something you wish you would have known before starting this?
I think I wish I've been kind of doing some of this stuff like by accident, and I wish I was just more aware of it, so I had more of a foundation at the beginning. But you have to like diversify your skill. If you are a guitar player in a band, you can't just be a guitar player in the band. Like you have to, like I was saying before, you have to be social. You need to back up you being a guitar player in a band by telling people you're a guitar player in a band and like actually promoting your band and getting it like around in the community. Like, that's a skill. Another skill would be, like just something else that you can provide for other people that can get you in the know. Like my friend Ben is doing like a lot of transcriptions now. That's like what he's doing. That's another skill of his. So like when people, they have more than just one reason to come to Ben, they're not just going to come to him for his band. They'll come to him for something else, and both of those things will play off of each other. Or like I don't know, like the very best person you could have in your band is somebody who can fucking mix your music or record. Like, that's something that everybody needs in a band. So like, if you want a band to want you, or you want your band to go farther, like, you need to learn more about what's going on than just writing songs. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I got kind of lucky in that I spent a lot of time on the internet already. So like, I made a lot of friends on the internet, and like, you know, I got their back 5 years later, they got my back 5 years later, and it just like happened to be like that. But if I made more of an effort to, you know, make friends, like back then, I have more people looking out for me right now, and I have more people that I could collaborate with now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think like being in the music industry is like 25% music and like 75% networking most of the time.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. That's both very good advice. And I think a lot of bands don't, well, a lot of young bands don't realize how much of the marketing and the network aspect of actually trying to take your band further, how much that actually plays a part in your band being successful or progressing. I wouldn't use the word successful, but just advancing. And so, yeah,
actually, I want to add one thing to that.
Yeah.
Personal branding. That's probably you need to, like, for I'm gonna give a band example, Archspire. Almost every Archspire fan is aware of every member of the band. They know the names of everybody. They know you got 3 bald dudes and 2 long-haired dudes, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
But you don't see them running a ruckus anywhere. They're very aware of their public image. They are like really careful about what they do, like on the internet. They're not ever being like stupid. Well, actually, Ollie says some stupid shit, but like that's part of the brand. So like it's okay, but like if that's not your brand, you can't be saying stupid shit, or you need to kind of work yourself in there. But by brand, like you know, we're marketing ourselves as a text line band. Like, we have a market. We know like who we're trying to target, and we're gonna build our image around that. You know, there's a lot of bands that just like they pop up. They got like 1 or 2 tracks, but like there's, you know, I'm not willing to bet money on that band yet because I don't know what they can do. You know?
Yeah.
Different example, Verbum. When Verbum put out their first single in like 2015 or something like that, you know, it was a great track, and they didn't just put the track out and then we're done. You know, like they put the track out. They had like a video for the track. They had like proper T-shirts, like starting to build an image for this psychedelic tech death thingy, whatever. I don't know what to even call it, but you know, I almost knew what Verbum was going to sound like before Illuminance even came out.
Oh, really?
So. Yeah, I think a big thing is just like having something identifiable about you, and like working on making that identity, and like making sure it's a positive identity and not Chamber of Malice or Signs of the not Signs of what's the guy's name? I don't know his name, whatever. But like, you know, do your best on creating a positive, accessible image for yourself, because when everything is so personable on the internet, like, fans look for fan interaction, and you know, you want to give a positive experience in that. I don't know. Yeah, that's the band, right?
I think you meant Shrine of Malice.
Shrine of Malice.
Shrine of Malice.
What? Shrine of Malice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Canceled for some shit. I just don't want to make sure nobody thinks that we're talking about Chamber of Malice theme.
It's not my fault all the goddamn names sound the same.
Come on, you can't keep up with all that? Right? How do they expect that? Oh, that's funny. That's great advice though, man. I mean, I'm heavy into marketing and branding and all that stuff you're talking about. I promote that too, and I'm usually the guy that's doing all that stuff. And I was just saying, you know, a lot of bands that they just don't realize what they're getting themselves into until they realize that that's a real necessity part of it, and somebody needs to be grinding on that 24/7.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go, guys. Great advice from these masterminds here. I'm gonna get to some of these questions right quick before I see if I can pick out a couple of these questions. So yeah, it looks like Nick's just saying, what's up, Worm Bros? And it's got a lot of dudes on here right now. Yes, I know there's no video. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. We're still just powering through this, and hopefully I will be able to put the video up later, assuming that at least Zoom is on record and working well. And then I think I'm just going to change recording software, or recording software. I heard of a different one that's much more efficient than Zoom. I just didn't have enough time to get it established yet. So yeah, Monique was saying, Nani, you're from Chicago? Is that accurate? No? Oh, that's funny. Dunkin' Donuts. What's that?
Not Chicago, but there's a story behind it, and I think it's kind of funny because I was like 7 when it happened, but I remember it. Nobody was born in Chicago, but like my parents moved from Chicago when Noni was like 1 week old. One time we were at like some hotel, and me and Noni were getting like breakfast at the hotel, and we were like 7 and 8, and this dude's like, oh, hey kid, where are you from? Not in like a weird way. I don't remember how I was eating like scrambled eggs. We were just talking, and Noni's like, I'm from Chicago. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's funny. So Sam, Sam says Dunkin' Donuts. Fuck yeah, I'm not sure where that came from. You did say Event Horizon. I think he was dropping that when you were talking about sci-fi horror type stuff, and that's a great movie too.
Black hole.
Question from Brian O'Leary. He said spliff. Is there any substance to that? Does that mean anything, you guys?
We'll tell Brian to hit us up in like 20 minutes, and we'll be ready.
That's funny. Yeah, apparently Brian O'Leary says, yo, can you guys give us a shout out to my band, A Ghost Within the Ladder Beyond? We opened for you in 2012, and I know you remember it. So, question is, do you guys remember it?
I know Brian's bullshitting.
Sorry, Brian. And then Nick's saying, yo, I love your guys' rad melodic techie instrumental parts in the albums. Artificial Brain kicks ass. Monique's coming at us again. What's the best tour snack?
My go-to tour snack, only on tour, I'm getting sick just thinking about them right now. But on tour, I always go for those Hasbro gummy bears.
Okay.
I eat a shit ton of Pop-Tarts and Cliff Bars.
Nice.
You have a lot of monsters on the night drive.
Oh yeah, a lot of monsters. We usually get like a big thing from Sam's Club of like variety pack of monsters that just sits underneath like one of the chairs, and so we always got warm monsters on deck.
Nice. So you guys care about your health more than anything, it sounds like.
Yep. Nice.
All right, well, let me get into, so that was the band questions for now. I got a couple more. Actually, no, there is one more. I think this is a good one too. What are some valuable resources that have helped you guys push this band?
That is a good question.
That is a really good question. I would say, first of all, social media in general is probably the biggest resource. like I literally just talked about this before, but like having a positive influence on social media, you know, like being involved the right way, like being constructive and like in the Facebook groups, like all right, I'm in another band which owes its entire like upbringing to social media. Literally, like most of us in the band were like just really active in a couple of groups on Facebook, and like people knew us in those groups, and you know, if people know you and know that like you're not a dick, basically, you're not a dick.
It's not hard.
Good music stuff every now and then. They're gonna give you a chance. If you're a dick and you have a like not a good reputation, you know, people are less likely to care about what you have to say. Yeah. So social media, that's definitely mine.
I think for me, I mean, of course, these answers are coming in tandem. The other musicians in our area, big thing. I think I was talking about this earlier. Like, I'm, you know, lucky that I think that me and Sanjay, our brothers, grew up together and are into this because there's like a bit of competition there. But there's also like, we're able to learn from each other, whether we want to admit it or not. And we can do that with other musicians in our area too. Like, Hans, the vocalist in our band, just because of him, and just because he mentioned this once, like 3.5 years ago or something, we were listening to some tech death song or some death metal song, and it had like all the 16th notes, necrophages, blast riffs, and he mentioned like, oh well, the rhythms here, like not a lot of variation in the rhythm. So, you know, that's pretty small and pretty obvious. But I would have never thought about it if I hadn't had somebody with his perspective, you know, lay it out. Now, when I write stuff, I think about that. Like,
yeah.
I learned a lot from Anj too.
Yeah. Playing with Matt too, the way he writes his drum parts, or the way that he's.
Yeah, he's way more creative in rhythm. So like when we play with him, like we're always like fuck, dude, that was way cooler than like whatever I was thinking. Yeah. Like let's rethink this a sec.
Dude, that's the best.
A lot of times with local bands too, and other bands in the area, you can learn what
not to do.
And also what not to do. Like,
yeah.
We're not going to name any names, but I know that there's some bands around here that you really don't want to follow their lead. I'm sure every city has stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great advice. On a side note, Sanjay, I didn't know you were cheating on Wormhole.
I've been cheating on Wormhole. Wormhole wasn't even my first real band. Me and Anj in Wormhole also. We had another band, Perihelion, like 6 years ago. That was a precursor to Wormhole.
Okay, and that's still going?
No.
Oh.
we like doing Wormhole. I mean, we've been talking about it. We did a show that was literally basically Wormhole playing Perihelion songs, and Brian O'Leary, who was like in the comments, was playing bass with us. That's why I know he's bullshitting. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I think that everybody should cheat on your main band because it will give you a different musical outlook that will only come back to help your main band.
I think sometimes it's impossible to do everything.
Yeah,
especially when you're like just starting out and feel like you have something to prove. It's really difficult to, I don't know, like I pull back a little bit. You know, it's difficult to do everything that you want to do in a cohesive way with that one band. So I couldn't imagine. Because death metal is definitely not the only music I want to write. It's not, and Wormhole's not even the only kind of metal that I want to write. So I couldn't imagine just having one band or one creative outfit.
Yeah. Sometimes I want to write straight up tech death. Sometimes I want to write straight up slam.
Yeah.
No, not I was working Wormhole.
These two other bands.
Well, yeah, you got the best of both worlds in this band.
Yeah. But like playing straight slams and playing straight tech death gives me more ideas for tech slam.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and I don't know. I think you guys you provide yourself a bit of a challenge, because now when you try to incorporate those together, because now those transitions and those bridges that we talked about earlier are real vital to making those things just combine perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Let's see here real quick so Monique, I got a question like that later on, so we'll answer that here shortly. Primordial Chum Sock says, how do y'all get the inspiration for the intro to RA9 Myth?
The intro being the sample?
The sample was, I don't know. I think I was watching the episode on like Watch Cartoon Online or something.
It's from SpongeBob, for anybody who doesn't know. It's like
okay, yeah,
2-second clip from a SpongeBob episode.
I wasn't even like, when I found it, I wasn't thinking about the song, but I don't know. He said, like, Pearl says the thing and then slammed the pill on the table, and that was a slam right there in an episode of SpongeBob.
It just happened.
A lot of times we just hear it, and like sometimes the sample comes before the song, because there has to be like a certain inflection on their voice or something for it to really contribute to the song in a meaningful way. And I think if it has that, it's pretty easy to fit it in something.
Yeah. I would say a band that comes to mind that does this very frequently and does pretty good too, is God, why am I drawing a blank on this? Aborted. There we go.
Yeah.
A lot of drops in their songs.
Yeah.
And killer band too.
One in particular from Global Flatline.
The song with the Russian
Song
name.
2, track 2 on Global Flatline.
I think it's The Origin of Disease is what it's called.
Is it an Aborted album?
Global Flatline is the album.
That's the best Aborted in my opinion.
Nice. I'm so much better at looking at the cover art, and then I'll know like what songs are on there.
all the Aborted covers look so similar to me that I like need to know the names.
Right. But that's even pretty tough too, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, it is.
Geez, death metal is just notorious for having these 4 big worded titles to their names, and it's pretty tough. Right on. Well, let's get on. Let's see here. So I got some current status questions for you guys. So what have you guys been doing to stay productive during this pandemic time, you know, without giving away too much of your secrets and things that you don't want to just yet?
We get really high.
Do podcasts like this one. You're actually watching us or listening to us be productive in quarantine right now.
Nice. Yeah. Well, hey, we've entered the era in which musicians become podcasters and live streamers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing it.
At the beginning of the shit, I wrote basically all my songs for the next Wormhole record, and Noni started writing his songs. At the point that we're at now Noni's the one writing all the songs, and I'm not doing shit. So I don't know. As far as Wormhole goes, yeah, we made the next album. That's how Wormhole stayed productive. Yeah, we released some playthroughs all over last year. We still got a couple more that we're gonna post soon.
Working on other music, non-Wormhole music.
Yeah, we worked on a lot of non-Wormhole music. But mostly just like podcasts, like any other shit that we can do that's like productive for the band that doesn't have to do with playing out live or traveling at all.
We're also in school, so we have that stuff.
Yeah, we got that shit.
We have to make money for that.
I got a new job last year. That's productive. I wouldn't have this job if I did all the tours, but
nice. What kind of industry? It's funny because I had that question, but I didn't write it down. But now that you brought it up, I think it's a good way to segue into that. What you guys comfortable talking about? What kind of work the line of work you're in?
I teach guitar basically. That's like where most of my money comes from. I teach at 2 places, kind of local around here. Then I teach on on my own time, like after hours through Instagram and Facebook. And then I also teach an intro to computers class at this community college nearby, which is like easiest fucking job ever. And then that's all I do for work, I guess. Oh, I do some like guest solos and shit like that, which doesn't really count, but fun.
And I teach math. I do some tutoring and online teaching.
Nice. So you guys can work from home.
Every once in a while, someone will hit me up for a guitar lesson or something on Instagram. So I'll do that.
That's pretty cool.
We sort of work from home, but also don't. Like I have to drive 30 minutes to go to this one place, but then like if I'm teaching a lesson through Instagram, like I'll use that one at home.
Yeah, that's pretty convenient.
Like I can't teach on Thursdays. I teach in person, and then I teach some kids online. So like on Thursdays, I'm actually like in a McDonald's parking lot tutoring kids from my laptop in my car.
You just painted a real vivid picture. That's awesome.
I traffic double and I'm big children.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? Right on. Well, thanks for giving us a little bit of insight into your guys' how you guys produce income on the other than the band. So there was if I'm correct, it was a tour that was canceled last year. Were you guys touring last year or getting ready to?
Yeah, there were 2 tours that were already planned and booked and even announced that ended up getting canceled.
Damn. Yeah, sorry to bring up, bad news again.
It's been a year already. I'm over it.
Yeah. Well, if there was anything positive to say on this, I like to think that when the music scene actually opens up, I feel like the turnouts are going to be epic. Hopefully I'm right.
I hope so.
Everybody's just itching for a show. Everybody wants to get down. They want to dance. They want to kill each other in the mosh pit. I mean, they want to groove to some music. So I think it's the urgency is there. And then let's see here. So here's a good question. What is the best thing that has happened and the worst thing that has happened to you guys out of this pandemic?
Best thing, worst thing. Best thing is probably the new record.
Yeah, we wrote the new record. That's probably the best thing we could have ever done with this time.
Nice.
The worst thing is, of course, the tours.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Sanjay has a new worst thing. The worst thing changes, honestly. I think everybody's just like, it's never been one big thing for everybody. It's like, you get slapped in the face in January, and then you get slapped in the face again in like April, May, then you get another one in September. I feel like that's really the true experience of everybody's quarantine.
I got slapped really hard right now. I have a brace on my wrist. I can't play guitar.
Oh.
I have a inflamed tendon in the base of my thumb, so I have not played guitar properly in like 5 weeks.
Oh, that's a bummer, dude.
Yeah.
5 weeks, that's rough. How long do you predict you're gonna still be in that status?
I'm hoping just at most 2 more weeks, but it could go on for longer.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's the longest period you've gone, both of you, without playing?
Right now, this is the longest I've gone without properly practicing. I still teach guitar and I still bullshit play to teach guitar. I basically can't use my thumb, so I only use 4 fingers. So I can still play some stuff. Basically, it's not a good idea for me to do it, but I have to get paid.
Right.
Yeah, so it's the longest I've gone without practicing. I'm losing the calluses on my fingers, which is crazy to me.
Oh God, yeah, you have to go through that process all over again.
I couldn't tell you how long. Probably some like family vacation when we were younger and couldn't bring our guitars with us.
Yeah. So like a few months or probably?
No, probably like a week at most.
Oh, okay.
I don't like to miss days. Feel bad. I get grumpy too if I don't play for a while.
I can totally relate all this stuff you guys are saying too. And I definitely sympathize for you, Sanjay. I own my own home improvement business, and we build a lot of sunrooms and outdoor living structures. Sometimes I don't really work much now on site, but sometimes I do. And probably last year, I can't remember what it was, in the summer, I was working and I drilled right through the top of my thumb through a piece of metal, right directly into that sucker. And that fucking hurt. But yeah, it put me out for a few weeks too. So I get it, man. The injuries, they're a setback, man, for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy though that this happened at least now, not when we were going to tour. Because I would be really pissed if we went on a tour and I was not able to play on the tour. I feel like an asshole.
Well, I mean, that's part of obstacles, right? I mean, people don't really think about that. The non-musicians probably don't even think about that. They just see a musician playing and they're like, oh, he plays all day, every day, and that's all he does, and everything's fine for him. They don't really think about injuries and, you know, these odd things that happen to the musicians that are setbacks to them, probably.
Yeah, setbacks for sure.
Vocalist, you know, having something going on with his throat where he can't sing for a while. There's just so many random things that come up because our bodies are just machines that sometimes we just don't have control over. So let's see here. What's the best show you guys have played? And was it the people or the atmosphere, the venue?
In my opinion, there's two best shows we ever played. One was Nice to Meet You Fest in Czech Republic in 2018. It was like our first like legit like slam fest and like European fest. Probably the biggest show that we ever played at that time. I was super pumped. And it was just fun as hell. Number two would probably be Denver on Tech Trek 2019. Denver just goes ham. Oh, that
was packed.
That shit was packed.
We were trying to get outside because, I mean, you know how the band is. We try to get outside, we gotta have our split. We'd have to like, it was like Assassin's Creed, like walking through crowds where you had to be like, but you couldn't push them out of the way. There was somebody else blocking them. You really have to like force your way in there.
Dude, that's what you want. That's awesome.
I really liked. I always like playing in Philly. I like playing in Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal is banger.
I really like Brooklyn too.
Brooklyn's also
big fucking go off in Brooklyn.
Dude.
We played the Kingsland on that Tech Trek tour too.
That was nutty.
Heck
First
yeah.
show that tour was also great. In Seattle, we played, and like there were two local bands. The locals were both amazing, fantastic. It was awesome, great show, front to back. And then when we went on, like as soon as we started playing, as soon as the first note and the first blast hit, like it was already a hit. Like those kids loved everything.
Dude, yeah, we go pretty hard up here too. I don't know if you know, but that's just an hour and a half from here. We're down here in Olympia.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Do you remember the local bands' names? Or probably not. I imagine you guys play with so many damn bands.
One of them, I think, was the Odious Construct.
Wait, where?
Yeah. That's the Odious Construct in Ethereum.
No. You're thinking about the Ethereum, yes, in Seattle. Odious Construct is not Seattle. They're from California.
There's some other sick band from Seattle.
I think the Odious is from Seattle.
Oh, are they? That one doesn't ring a bell. But I do know Ethereus. Yeah, I know.
We love Ethereus. We love all those guys.
Yeah. They're the bros too. I think I met Ben when we were opening up for Summer Slaughter with Black Dahlia Murder and Dying Fetus, and Ben was buying. I was out there slanging tickets out front, and I remember talking to Ben and selling him a ticket, and that's how I kind of met that guy and one of the other guys. But yeah, it's a good band, dude.
Love it.
Solid dudes too, and like you said, it goes a long way when people aren't douchebags. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's an example of those. Like, that's good on Ethereus for Ben not being an asshole.
Shout out to Ben, dude. Too bad I don't think he made it, so I'll have to tag him in some clips or something later on. All right, what's your dream? What would be your guys' dream tour? Like, what bands and where would it be at?
My real dream tour is the real dream is playing in the 80s and the 90s with like Megadeth and Metallica.
Really?
So my dream is I'm Kirk Hammett and I'm playing in Metallica, and it's 1989 live. We're filming live shit, Binge and Purge.
Nice. Nah, I didn't expect that. Right on.
For me, so I'm thinking about Dream Tour as a combination of music, or the show's sick, and am I gonna have fun on this tour? And the real one band that I would love to tour with, and I would want it to just be this band and Wormhole direct support, would be Gojira.
Okay.
I love Gojira. I think Gojira is unique, and oddly, I'm going to make a comparison here. Gojira started out being like basically a straight up death metal band, like a little bit experimental here and there. Then they started being like a little bit melodic, and they would be like this band that's just fucking heavy, throw a little bit of melody in there, and then they went a little bit back and forth. That's not too far from what we do, yeah. So I really think that we would be a good match for a Gojira tour.
Yeah, they are a good band too, and it's funny you said that because the first time I heard Gojira, it was that classic death metal sound, and then I heard another Gojira song maybe a year later, and I was like, I don't remember them sounding like this.
Yeah. That old Gojira shit is like, so many people dismiss Gojira as like this hippie metal band that sold out and is like not that sick. Well, I don't care if you believe that, but even if you believe that, you gotta listen to the first two records because they have heavier riffs than any slam band's putting out these days. Yeah,
I had to go back and check that out now that you said that because you piqued my interest. I just don't remember. That's a bold statement.
It's so true. It's so true.
I'll have to check that out now. But they are a good band. There's no doubt about it. They definitely have made a huge impact as well.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think, by the way, so your nickname, was it Noni?
Noni.
Noni. All right. That's a pretty cool nickname, by the way. It's much easier. It's much easier for me to pronounce than your actual name. So I'm going to go with that. I think you touched on this a little bit. You kind of said that you were working on different music, or that you had plans to work on different stuff in the future. So this question is kind of along those lines, but what kind of music career do you want to have in the future?
Of course, Wormhole, would love for Wormhole to be doing, bigger stuff than we are, and a sustainable way in the future. Love to be doing Wormhole for a long time, putting out a lot of Wormhole records. We're putting records out under the Wormhole name and death metal. There's also some stuff in like slam and that I can't do in Wormhole like anymore. Like Wormhole, it just demands something a little more, and I've already done it before. So I have another band I'm working on with some dudes in like Waking the Cadaver and some other bands.
Sick.
That I'm putting together. Sanjay's been working really hard on.
I got a couple of things that I'm doing recently.
I don't know, especially after quarantine, thinking about like, oh well, maybe what will I do? When I'm not writing. If I'm not writing metal, what kind of music would I play?
Yeah. It's
and I realize I just like pop music that has like that's maybe a little dense or a little interesting.
Yeah, so it's definitely provided us some reflecting time, right?
Yeah.
And thinking about the future a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, the big goal right now is, of course, we want to push Wormhole and take that as far as we can.
That's awesome, man. I look forward to the next album, and I know a lot of people are too, because it's just a huge success in my eyes personally. This last album you guys did for sure. So let's move on. So these are kind of what I call life questions. This is kind of something that gives us a little bit of a better understanding of maybe what type of individuals you guys are outside of music. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I take that back. Some of these are musical questions. So what keeps you motivated in playing the music?
I feel like we are both very aware of our actual skill level, and nobody should be satisfied with their skill level. If you really care about that thing that you're doing, if you always want to get better, then there's always going to be goals. So, I don't know, I have always kept my guitar playing progressing by setting new goals, like constantly. Like I'll be working on something specific for a while, then move on to the next specific goal. And like, I feel like just keep on doing new things, keep learning new things, because you think learning new things is fun, and you will never, ever, ever stop progressing if you just find the enjoyment in getting better at anything. Like, outside of music, like, motherfuckers are really out here spending 2,000 hours to get better at League of Legends. Imagine if you wanted to get better at guitar that same way, and you put in those 2,000 hours, you know?
Yeah, dude.
For me, it's hard not to be motivated. It's like, as soon as I hear, I mean, there's no question that like this is what I want to do at this point. So if I'm not doing it, I almost feel guilty. I want to push the band. I want the band to be good. And then when I'm around people like Sanjay or Ansh or Matt or Basil or the other people in the band or the musicians in Baltimore, and I hear the kind of stuff that they're doing, if it's like sicker or cooler or has some edge to it that my music doesn't, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't, or sorry, it does have some edge that I don't.
Real humble, Louie.
Because but 9 times out of 10 they have something that like I have never heard before, can't really do, can't wrap my head around.
You gotta learn it.
So I gotta learn it. And it's like, well, why does their sound, my stuff doesn't sound like that? How come their stuff sounds that good? Like, gotta figure out. I can't be like, it can't be, if that guy's at that level, then I have to be at least performing at that level. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, so that's a definitely motivational factor. Absolutely. Yeah, I love what you guys are saying too. You guys are speaking my language. You're talking about self-improvement, and you're talking about not being satisfied, and all that's shit I talk about every week. So I really appreciate the fact that you're touching base on that, because I think a lot of people need to hear that stuff. There's a lot of people that, aside from music and just in life in general, they're trying to make sense of why they are not pushing themselves and why they have settled, and they come up with reasons and excuses and these nice little sayings that keep us in this comfort zone. And that's exactly what you guys are talking about, is pushing yourself, being better, not settling. I love that shit, man.
I think part of it is actually, you mentioned that stuff, like you have to have like an understanding, you have to know that you are capable of it. And that sounds like really simple and surface level. You have to know that you're capable of doing it, but like I promise that it's not. You don't know that you're capable of doing something until like you really fucking know that you're capable of doing it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that you can do that thing, you just have to believe that you can.
Yeah.
And you don't believe it, well, fuck it, practice anyway. But once I kind of understood, like, some guitar players on Instagram and they play this ridiculous stuff, and you might, some of the comments would be like, or my first impression was, wow, that guy's crazy good. I'll never be that good. I'd have to work forever to be that good. You can also look at it the other way, which is like, okay, well, that guy's also a human, also has 2 hands and brain.
Yeah, you have all the same tools. I have a brain. I have hands.
I can do that stuff too. He's doing it like, it's not like, wow, look at this. He can't do that. I think that's the wrong attitude. I think it should be like, wow, I didn't know you could do that on guitar. That means I need to learn how to do that. That's my...
Dude, yes, I love that. It should feed the beast of, that hunger. I know exactly what you're talking about. And to your point, Noni, you were saying some people don't know they're capable, but I think that everybody knows in the back of their mind there's a little voice that they are capable of it. And I think that those excuses just kind of cloud that, and it gives them a green light to not execute on these things. You know what I mean? I think we're all capable of it, and it's just a matter of pushing and pushing and pushing, like you said.
This is the same shit I tell my math students when they can't solve an algebra problem.
Yeah, that stuff goes a long way in every department of your life, right? I mean, this is stuff I teach my 8-year-old daughter. So this is basic stuff that can really, sometimes it just takes for the people that they want to ignore that voice that says they are capable of something. Sometimes it just takes a podcast like this where 3 guys are talking about self-improvement and actually hungry to be better at something, and it just sparks something in their mind, and they're like, you know what, I think there's something here actually.
Hopefully.
No, I believe that. I do. I thoroughly believe that, man. That's why I like talking about it. And you can already tell I get excited, man. You guys start talking about self-improvement. I'm all about it. Oh, that's awesome, man. So what's it like working, as brothers together? What has that been like, and what's it like now?
I feel like it's pretty convenient. Actually, it's like really, really convenient. There's like some unspoken things that we kind of can understand with each other. I think it's, all right, here's one thing that I think is so fucking weird. We'll be like, okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, we've all listened to like Rust in Peace a billion times, okay? Like, so many times. So, at some point, me and Noni will be like listening to the song that we've both heard a billion times before, but this time, we both noticed some small nuance at the same time. Like, we both noticed it, but like, we've listened to this in the same place like a billion times before. Why are we noticing this one thing right now at the same time?
Yeah, that's
and it
weird.
happens throughout everything. That's so weird.
That is strange.
Like, it happens so. We'll be playing Mario Kart, and it'll be like we'll notice like a new shortcut, and it'll be like I'll notice it on my lap, and it'll be like, wait, there's a shortcut here. I'll be like, I noticed that shortcut too.
You guys are in sync, man. You guys were almost like conjoined twins.
Also, like the idea for Text Slam, we kind of have that independently.
Yeah.
We both subconsciously knew we kind of wanted to do that, and then it just took one of us saying it to be like.
I think it was a YouTube comment actually. Somebody commented like, "Oh, this is kind of like Text Slam." Like, oh, it is like Text Slam.
That's where it started, huh? The coin term.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I was always interested on that. Not to put you guys on the spot. It sounds like you guys got a great relationship for brothers working together. I mean, I'm sure you guys have your disagreements every now and then too, but I feel like you guys got a good communication and a good relationship going.
I think it probably comes up on it's easier on tour, I think, too, in some capacity. In some ways, no. In some ways, like, it's a little bit more difficult. In some ways, a little bit easier. Like, when you're on tour and you're living in the band together in that small space, some guys are a little more irritable than others. Some guys will get triggered by something like I already know all the buttons, what not to do. I know if I, leave something out when I'm supposed to pack it away and it gets lost, then Sanjay's not gonna like that and he'll get upset.
Yeah, anybody should get upset about that.
Or if he finds my shoes in his sleeping bag. But I know, there's certain stuff I know to look out for, but then, we do fill-in gigs sometimes, and then we'll learn kind of the hard way, don't do that. Don't do that to piss this guy off, so don't do that.
Right? No, it probably, exactly, it definitely probably keeps those tough times at bay, you know what I mean, when you're in those like you said, I guess a constrained area where you guys are just spending a little more time together than usual. You're already used to that, so it's not really anything out of the norm. That's awesome. So talking about family, you guys got old ladies, children, anything like that?
We have a mom, a dad.
Just that.
Dude, nice.
No kids. I don't know if we're the kid type, at least not in our current state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Responsibility.
Yeah, it is.
I really don't.
You guys would make great dads, man. Don't be so hard on yourself. Well, that's cool, man. So, because that was going to be my question. How do you, balance? I mean, this is still relative, I guess, how do you balance? What's that like balancing your, work then? If it's not children and old lady, anything else other than music? What's that like balancing that together for you guys?
Well, luckily for me, my job is music related, so they understand when I need to do music things. Everybody that all my main friends are all music people. So everybody kind of understands when you gotta do music shit. When I say it's when we gotta go on tour, it's never ah shit, man, you serious? You're gonna be gone for a whole month? Fuck you. It's always nice, dude. You're doing it. You're going farther. So I feel everybody in our direct lives is super supportive of music stuff at this point by now. It took a while with our parents, but now I think they don't see it in such a tough light. But
yeah, what about you, Noni? Pretty similar, easy to balance that out?
Pretty similar. I mean, it's tough. It's stressful trying to figure it out sometimes because my work isn't necessarily music related. At least not right now. So I have to figure out ways. If I want to go on tour and I have to lose my job, well, I have to still have some kind of income that I can come back to. I have to also have some kind of savings that to come back to. I don't know. Everything that I do, I feel like I'm trying to put it together so that I can do music and do the band, and just because of how important it is to me, how important it is to us, and there's a lot on the line. Even though I know it's very difficult, but even if it was easy, it would be very, very stressful all the time. And that's what it is. I don't think, when I'm 45, I don't think I'd be able to deal with it constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little uncertainty. And, we're big planners. We like to plan ahead. So that uncertainty is just a little stressful for us. But it's fucking well worth the...
Right.
Well worth it. I'll do it again.
So I'm going to ask you if it came to that and your job said, if you go on tour, you're going to lose your job, what will you do?
It has come to that, and I did lose the job.
Gotcha. Okay. I would do the same.
It hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm prepared for it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that just kind of, it's a good question, to be honest. I mean, and I understand that it's different for everybody too.
It's going to be sad sometimes because I do genuinely like the jobs that I have right now, but if it came to that, like, I
it's not, it's at this point, it's not like, it's the company's decision whether they keep us or not, you know, because we're going. Like,
yeah, I'm going.
That's an unstoppable force. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I agree. I don't blame you. All right. So what other hobbies? You guys talked a little bit about some of them, but is there any other hobbies that you guys are into other than music?
I love video games. I play a shit ton of video games. First-person shooters like Doom.
Nice.
Doom, Metroid, all the Star Wars games, Mass Effect. I'm trying to think of the wormhole ones. Oh, Dead Space, pretty wormhole.
That was a good one.
Battlefield. Love the Battlefield games. They get some shit sometimes, but I love them. Counter-Strike. Spent 2,000 hours that I could have spent somewhere else. That was high school for me. Also, since I can't use my hands, I'm making music on my computer, which is kind of a new hobby for me that's adding to my repertoire of skills.
Nice.
I play a lot. I don't play quite as many video games, Sanjay.
A different genre of video games.
I play a lot of Super Metroid. That's like my favorite game ever.
Strategy games.
My big games are strategy games. Civ 5 was my big game. I fucking destroyed it's been like 10 years, but anybody wants to play me in Civ 5, I guarantee you I will beat you in the first 100 turns at least.
Damn.
That's a bold statement. We might get some challenges.
I did a lot of history in college. History was my focus in college. I've been doing a lot of reading about it again lately. Big on like Japan, Meiji Japan. I'm sure nobody fucking listening cares about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. But you know, they had a 200-year isolation. There's actually a Netflix documentary that just came up about loosely related to this. But there was a 200-year isolation. Then they came out of isolation, and not even 100 years later, they're one of the biggest empires in the world. Like, that's just something I've always been fascinated with. I do a lot of reading about that.
Nice.
I like to watch those. I like physics stuff, science stuff, space stuff. I'm big into those very surface. I can't understand the math behind it. It's too complicated for me. But I like those colorful YouTube videos where somebody explains it in a very simple way that I can understand.
Yeah. I love that. It's good, man. Knowledge is power, as they say, right? Even if it's not power, it's just fun and just to educate yourself on a little bit of history. Sweet. Here's another question. The last life question, I would call it. What is one major obstacle that both of you have had in your life that you can think of, and how did you overcome that?
Honestly, being brown, like in elementary school, middle school, and stuff like that.
But not in the way that you would think.
No, yeah, not like we were getting like deliberately like picked on because we were brown. I think just coming to terms with the fact that like we are different, like we have a different background than other people, and like to really embrace that. I feel like we both kind of had that. For our area over here, like it's a pretty mixed bag of races. Mm-hmm. But like in my elementary school, there was like one other Indian person in the entire class. So, you know, like when I was in elementary school, I was like, damn, I wish I was white. you know, something like that. You know, I wish I was like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like
I've never seen an Indian guy like playing in a metal band or playing guitar, so there was no reason for me to think that I could do that. I remember this very vividly. I never thought that I would be able to. This is my weird, you know, I'm only a 5-6-year-old kid, so don't take it too seriously. But I never thought that like I would be able to get a girlfriend or in school, because I'd never seen like every Indian guy I'd seen on TV is always some like nerdy dude who like no fucking way they're not getting laid. But the white dude was the handsome guy. So I always identified with the brown guy. I never really knew that I could be that handsome.
Yeah, well, Hollywood's good at portraying those. What do you call that? As my other guitarist calls it, culture appropriation, I think is the term he used.
But then, like, I think once we got into like high school and like college and stuff like that, started to like really embrace the Indian part a little bit more. Like I started listening to like Indian music, like not ironically, because I actually like this, and started to just become a little bit more educated on like where like what kind of goes on, stuff like that. And then I don't know, stopped trying. I stopped trying to look like some white skater kid in middle school. That's kind of what we tried to do, because we thought that was like the epitome of looking cool. Be white, have sick flow, skateboard shoes, you know. But now, like, I know, like, if I just like accepted myself and like, you know, like now, like instead of making my hair, trying to make my hair look like some white kid's hair that's impossible for my hair. I let my hair do what it wants to do, and it looks way better than I ever did before.
Yeah. There you go. Heck yeah, man. Monique says, by the way, she can confirm you guys are both very handsome. So there you go. You're getting some play. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, that's cool, man. I like hearing about the adversity you guys went through, and more specifically I think a lot of people and kids in general can relate to the fact of, just trying to fit in. And so you're talking about trying to fit in, but then the race part of it playing a factor as well. So I can imagine that's a little more complex.
Yeah.
All right. So I got some questions. I'll see how quickly I can get through it. We got about 20 minutes, but I do want to ask this question because it's follow-up questions. So basically, I watched that video that you did, Sanjay, at NOM 2020 with Alex from Heavy New York. I don't know if you remember doing that interview with him or not. But
yep, I remember that.
Okay. It was very brief. I don't remember. I think it was like 8 minutes or 14. It
wasn't even planned. It was kind of just like, you want to do one too? Yeah, fuck it, man. Nice.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, you did actually, if I'm being honest, you did kind of seem a little nervous and caught off guard. You're just like, whoa, what am I doing right now? But it's awesome though, man. It was still cool, and I got a lot of info off of that because I got some post questions from it, basically. But here we go. So you talked about this writing structure. He asked you about, how is that formed? And you said that Noni would write 4 songs, you would write 4 songs, put them together, you got an album.
Exactly.
My question is, when laying that out, do you guys group them all together? Do you disperse them like one every other, or do you group them all together and keep them separate?
Really depends, I think.
We grab the pool of songs, and then we Noni has some that are going to be heavier, I'm going to have some that are going to be heavier, he'll have some that are more melodic, I will, and then we just put them in an order that kind of alternates what we want to display at this certain point in the album. It doesn't.
There's no strict rules like it has to be one after the other.
Yeah, it kind of I think on The Weakest Among Us, at some points in the record order, it was alternating who wrote it. I think the first 4 songs are alternating. No,
first 5.
First 5 are all. First 6 are alternating, and the last 2 are messing up the whole thing. But it's not intentional. It's just kind of it just turned out that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it made me curious on how that happened. And then a follow-up question is, have you guys ever, or in the future, going to collaborate on a song?
We have collaborated, but like not from the ground up. We probably, I don't know, I feel like the reason why the album sounds like diverse as it is because we aren't collaborating like that. Like we have a central theme, tech slam. As long as we meet the theme, the songs will work together, As long as they're both tech slam, it can be tech slam for different reasons, but as long as it's tech slam, it works. And I think that if we are writing our songs independently and achieve that goal of tech slam, it's organically going to sound different and special from each other. We'll probably collaborate more on some songs, but we have collaborated on parts of songs. Yes. And like Ultra Frigid on The Weakest Among Us, is track 6, has a decent bit of collaboration on there. But Nody figured out like 75% of the song before he collaborated, so it's not from the ground up.
Oh, okay.
I forgot.
Collaborating is good though. Like my other band, like we collaborate on like every song, and it's special. But
even though we don't collaborate, we're still listening to each other's. Like when I'm writing my song, I'm very aware of what bases Sanjay has already covered in his. And I know what tricks he's used in his. So I know, like, if he did, because, every band, every group of musicians, you have a big bag of tricks. And, if I'm going to reach into that bag, I have to pick something that Sanjay hasn't done yet.
Yeah.
So we're still very aware of what's going on in each other's music, even though we're not necessarily writing it together.
Nice. Well, that's going to be interesting if you guys ever do, decide to be like, hey, let's just do a song together right now from the ground up, riff for riff. Be an interesting result, probably.
I think the issue is that we dwell on like a riff for like days before we move on to the next one sometimes. So like, I'm scared to get to that point and then just not know what to do, but us both not know what to do.
Yeah. What does that look like? So when you guys, it probably looks different for both of you, but when you get an idea, like, are you pick the guitar up and you sit there and you're like, okay, think of something? Or are you sitting there eating a bowl of cereal and you're like, holy shit, I got to write this down or get this recorded?
Both happen.
Okay.
Both happen.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like playing and like, or sometimes I'll listen to a song and I find something in there that I really like. There's some cool interval or some lick, and I want to figure out what that is, so I'll play around with that. And then once I find that, then I'll try moving this note over here, try moving this note over here. Maybe I'll try that thing with this chord and this chord, and it just eventually it turns into something sometimes. Sometimes I'll even like just sit in my computer in front of Guitar Pro and like, it's almost like calculated what the riff is going to be. Like I know that it needs to be, if I want it to be odd time or I want it to be groovy. So I know that I need to syncopate the kick somehow. I know I need the snare to hit here. I know the cymbals need to do this. Maybe they need to follow the riff. Maybe they need to play off of the riff. A combination of my ear and experience, like you can just write on paper for Guitar Pro. I don't think there's any, comes from anywhere. And normally when I find a new way to write a song, if the inspiration is coming from somewhere new that it's never come from before, that's when I get my favorite song.
Nice. Yeah, it's always interesting to me to find out how what the writing process looks like, because it's so different for every individual. So I love hearing that. So you talked about also, Sanjay, you talked about Matt Tillett, which I think he did a fantastic job on the album as well. You said that was his first debut album, and so I really admire the drumming and the effort. So is he not typically a death metal drummer, or was it a
That was his first death metal record. He has a band with Anch, who's their vocalist, called Noise Says. It's like a math core band. So if he's not blasting in Wormhole, he's blasting in Noise Says. He plays in another band of mine, Grey Lotus, where he's also blasting in now.
Nice.
So I don't know. I think Wormhole was all of our first legit band. And we've kind of gone around and done other stuff from there, but
he's not he listens to metal and death metal and stuff like that. I mean, he grew up playing some of it, but nowadays I think he's more into he really likes Elliot Hoffman from Carbomb. He really likes that really twisted. I can't even articulate what some of these concepts are to you, but he likes real twisted, fucked up shit on the drum set.
Nice. That's probably why he's so good, man. I mean, he does. Yeah. He's pretty damn good. How did you guys meet him? And then how also would you suggest for striving local bands to reach out for new members?
So we kind of had a mutual friend, and we had a band with this mutual friend who we don't talk about anymore. He's a piece of shit. But he was friends with Matt, and then so we got in touch with Matt from there. So we had this, and then we basically just met somebody who knew somebody, and came connected that way. So that kind of brings me back to my thing I said a long time ago, was about being social, making networking connections. That's how you form a band, is by meeting people that be in a band with, not just posting on a Facebook group looking for a drummer.
The first time that I had met Matt was it was just, hey, let's, these dudes are starting a band. I play guitar, this guy plays drums, let's go to his house and let's try to write a song. And it wasn't hey, let's go here and we're going to start a band. We went there to have fun and play together.
Yeah.
And that's why we still continue to do it 6-7 years later, because it's still fun for us to get together and play together, whether it's a Wormhole song or some garbage Wham song we wrote 8 years ago.
That's awesome, man. What is so it sounds like you kind of answered my next question, because I was, a little bit, maybe you can elaborate on it, but what is your process of trying out a new member?
That's funny, because we had a process and we didn't even stick to it. The person has to hang with the band, basically, and that musically first, so you gotta go play the parts. The parts are hard, so I don't know, I feel like we have a pretty high expectation for playing the shit well. Not ultra high, but pretty high. And then so the other part is just actually hanging with the band. We had this one rule that you had to be able to roll to be a Wormhole, but our new bass player Basil still can't roll. I mean, he can roll, but I don't. If we're gonna smoke, I don't want him to roll. No. Basil, no.
Let's do it.
You need to practice more before you're doing that shit out here. So.
Nice. I like that. That can really go so many variety of different ways for each band. They all got their own process, right?
Yeah, but I think most of it though, be able to play the shit.
But you'll always be able. There's enough people that can play this shit.
Yeah, just don't be obstructive. Don't if we're desperate for a new band member, first we just want somebody who can play the parts. But on another level than that, I want somebody who can reflect the band well and is going to do their own shit. Develop their own image that will come back and benefit the band. So I don't know, just if you're gonna be in a band, I hope that you also are networking on your own, trying to push yourself as your own musician too, something that will benefit the band and benefit you, because you know, you can't rely on just being in a band to do anything. Everybody in the band has to do something that's going to help build the band.
Yeah, that's good advice.
That's what you need to do to be like, and that thing that you do might just be writing the parts. And if that's what like you're there for, like that's fine. But you know, if something else is expected of you, like, and a lot of times, like, it kind of goes without saying that putting on a good image for the band is expected of you. You know, you gotta do that part too.
Yeah, and don't be a douchebag like we talked about.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So you also talked about the writing process or the recording process. I mean, you talked about how that was done in your guys' basements, and basically everybody's basement was recorded in. The guitars, bass mixing, mastering, all that stuff you said was done in a basement.
Yeah, for Genesis, that was like 100% DIY. Recorded everything here except vocals were recorded elsewhere. For Weakest Among Us, this room we recorded guitars, vocals. Matt's basement, we recorded drums with this computer though.
The whole thing and took it over there. And
then Alex Weber, who recorded bass on the other record, did his own shit, I think, at his house.
Maybe in his basement.
So. Yeah. Oh, and then it was mixed and mastered at our friend Ryan's house, C1 Studios, which is just Ryan's house in his basement. So.
That's impressive. That's awesome. That's talk about using your resources, man. That's pretty damn good.
We like to do a little. I mean, most of us have been doing DIY shit for forever, and I like the control that we get. Like, I like producing my own music. I like making the final say, because with this kind of shit, like it's pretty our own idea to make Tech Slam. So I'm not, like, with this last record at least, I wanted to do it like our way. No producer, like us making all the final decisions on arrangement, etc. Ryan just mixed everything. He didn't really like have any input for like how something should go or something like that, or arranging a song.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty impressed just by that whole approach. And then brand suggestion. Oh, that's a different question. So you made the comment also that this interested me, actually. You said that slam is often looked at as a low IQ riff, as you said. You said but you guys put a lot of effort into the slam riffs, and they are, I'm gonna quote you. You said coldly calculated. You said that you focus on groove, and that it's not just being the band, being super tech. You guys are not just that super tech band that people just stand there with their arms crossed, watching and like, wow, they're really good, they're really fast. And so, I think, me personally, I think groove is very important. And ironically, the slam riffs, the low IQ riffs that you talked about, are what people actually get down to and feel it in their body, including the musicians. What do you think? Or do you think you lose people if there are no groove or slam moments in the track anyway?
I think just because of the way that we do. I think if you're listening to Wormhole, at this point, you probably know what tech death and slam is.
Yeah.
At some capacity. So I'm sure there are some people out there that when it gets to the slam part, is like, what the fuck is this? And they turn it off. Or I have a feeling, my theory though, is that the slam kids are much more appreciative of the tech stuff being introduced.
Yeah.
I can't say for certain, but that's my theory.
I think so too.
I think you're right.
We thought that when we released the record, it would be 2 tech for the slam kids and 2 slam for the tech kids.
Hey, you can't please everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you talked about that though, because I definitely think groove and slam is very important in a song.
I think as long as you have hooks, it doesn't really it's fine. Like, who cares what kind of music you play? If it's catchy and fun, and you can get your point across to the listener, then they'll like it. Like, we still talk about Epitaph so many years later, and I think it still holds up, and it's just because it has hooks.
Yeah.
And it's about the song.
And it's got groove. And it's got tech.
Very impressive. Yeah, it's just it's undeniable. And when something is undeniable like that, you won't forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were. Let's talk about your gear real quick. So I'm pretty sure you guys are sponsored by Ormsby.
Yeah.
Sanjay. Yeah. You said you used the TX29.
This one right here. Boom.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Yeah, I see it now.
There's no video. I have a shit ton. We have like, between me and Noni, we have like 8 or something.
Really?
Yeah,
we love them.
After we got the first one, it's like there's no question. Like, me personally, people who follow me on social media when I'm on tour know about this. I've had a lot of trouble with my guitars on tour, specifically one guitar. And just guitars just not doing what they're supposed to do, or having some dumb issue come up and I need it not to. Like, all of the input jack is garbage, needs to be changed, or the wiring is a mess from the factory, or the string won't lock, some dumb shit like that. And it's so nice to have a guitar literally for half the price as all those other ones that plays just as well, if not better, and then doesn't have any of those stupid problems.
Yeah. Yeah. They look nice too. I really like the, I've always liked the multi-scale look, and I'll ask you guys that question. I didn't really write it down, but I just, I got a custom guitar being made right now too with a multi-scale. I've never played a multi-scale. So is there a learning curve for that?
No. Well, it depends what the exact specifications are, but as long as it's not like crazy multi-scale, like I don't know, like
45-degree angle.
Yeah. Like yeah, as long, like how many strings is it?
It's a 24, yeah.
Or strings, like 6 or 7?
Oh, the six string, I'm sorry.
6 string, you're probably not gonna have an issue.
Oh, okay.
Like if you know the,
and if you do have an issue, it'll be for like 10 minutes, an hour maybe.
Nice. Yeah, I was just curious about that. There's always a learning curve with some kind of.
I really think you'll like it. I was very surprised at how easy it was for me to get along with a multi-scale fretboard.
Nice. Yeah, just looking at it initially, I thought it'd be easier because it just makes the playability more reachable, I guess. But
you will definitely forget it's multi-scale within the first hour. I don't know how. Like when I played my first multi-scale guitar, I kind of like the first 5 minutes is like, whoa, okay, a little crazy over here. And then like when I actually started like practicing something and like really spending time with it, after I was done practicing, I'd just be like, whoa, okay, I guess it does look kind of weird, you know, after I put it down and looked at it again.
Yeah. It's attractive though. I seen it. First time I seen that, I was like, whoa, that's really cool looking.
It's definitely brutal.
It's got the wow factor for sure.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you definitely are digging the guitars. And then one of the last fan questions, I believe, they were asking, you know, what went into the guitar tone. You talked a little bit about this on also the interview with Alex. You said that you guys, just seeing this, you guys use a real dry tone with low gain, or I guess you said a dry mid-heavy tone for the rhythm and leads with low gain.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think it was weird when I was doing it. It was just kind of like, this sounds cool. I like this.
Oh,
and
really?
Just stuck with it, even though like people said it sounds weird. I never thought it sounded weird. I always thought that for our riffs, like the tone on the record is the tone that we wrote the songs on, or I wrote my songs on, and we recorded all the songs with. I don't know, I dialed in that tone like years ago, just as like a practice tone, and I started writing my songs with it, and like it just sounded cool on the chug. sounded different, sounded not as thick, but still had impact. I just liked it. I don't know. I always like low gain tones. I like weird guitar tones. I like when guitar tones don't fit the norm but are still good. Like Spawn of Possession doesn't fit the norm for a guitar tone, but it sounds sick as fuck. Even Meshuggah, like Obzen, like that guitar sounds stupid. It's like it sounds dumb as fuck, but like in that mix, it's amazing. It's perfect. But like if you were just playing on that tone, you know, you might think like it sounds dumb. I don't know. I just think that like having character in guitar tones is like way more important than the actual tone, because character adds texture, and music is more than just you can hear everything. It's like I want to hear it, and I want its character to be pleasant to my ears. You know,
Yeah.
hard for me to explain that well, but it's like I don't know. You can hear the same song. Devourment, for example. You have a version of Baby Killer that's like hi-fi production. You have a version of Baby Killer that's really old and lo-fi production. And so many people prefer the old lo-fi, not because you can hear it better, but just because the textures in that mix just work better for that music. And I think a lot of people overlook texture, and they just want to go for this mix has to be modern and fast and all of these random words that they don't really know what they're talking about, and they just totally miss the character and the texture. There's a lot of producers that I think are amazing at like the texture character part. If you listen to the last Defeated Sanity record, that's a brutal death metal album with character. Colin Marston did that one. Archfire, you know, they have that super hi-fi tech death sound, but if you A/B that mix with other mixes, there's not as much low end at all, and things are not as, I guess, thumpy as a lot of other records would be. But for Archfire's sound, like the soundscape that they are trying to make, like that makes sense. Yeah, even Epitaph.
Yeah.
Epitaph mix is kind of inherently bad. Like, it's not like, what I mean inherently, I mean by like modern production standards. It's not super loud, not even super punchy, but the writing is amazing, and the mix is complementing the writing. Like you can hear every single note bouncing left and right, because that's what's important for the music. Not important for Necrophages to have the thumpiest, douchiest snare ever, you know?
Yeah, the mix worked really well, and you're right. You can hear every note, and for such a technical band and technical album, that worked out very well. You can hear all the notes played.
Yeah, that's like that. I think that's what Muhammad wanted on that record too. The record was the guitar parts, so that should be the forefront.
Yeah, good point. So I got just a few, I guess we'll call them outro questions, and then we'll be tapering off here, guys. What question did I not ask you that I probably should have?
Who's older?
You're right, I did have that question. Damn it. I totally forgot to write that down. Who is the older brother? Wait, I'm gonna take a guess. Don't tell me. Noni.
Noni is the older brother.
Okay. Good guess. Good guess. Right on.
We're only 11 months apart, so like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are the same age. You practically were born on the same day then.
There's 25 days where we are the same age.
And then quick question, have you guys listened to the new Abominable Putridity, which was put out like a week ago, I want to say?
Yeah. Finally got around to like digesting that whole thing.
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
Of course, we're disappointed that Matty Way isn't on there.
Dude, me too. Me too.
Still smacking. Honestly, also Abominable Putridity, some songs on that record, definitely tech/melodic slam.
Yeah, they were very, very busy, very dense.
Wormhole did it first.
Hey, you're inspiring people, man. You can't deny that, dude. I mean, if it's attractive.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, because like we totally stole so much shit from Abominable Putridity. If they stole something from us, they fucking earned it.
Right, king of slam riffs for sure. But I'm with you, Noni. The Matty Way, I love his vocals, man. They're just fucking brutal.
He's like our favorite, our like actual favorite.
I think it's not just his tone or his vocal tone. If you listen to some of the demos or previews that they put up like years ago of the album, like his parts are so creative. He really uses it
rhythmically, rhythmically and phonetically.
Yeah,
like the way that he takes syllables and just like adjust them a little bit just to make it like a little bit more brutal. Like I feel like he just fucking gets it. He gets it like nobody else gets it.
Yes, I can agree.
But like me and Noni love Cephalotripsy.
Yeah.
So like we love Angel. It's just like
if it wasn't gonna be Matty, like it's gonna be some ex-Discord guy, right?
Okay, so Angel came from Cephalotripsy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on. I didn't know that. Cool. I mean, he did a good job too. There's no denying he didn't come up short or anything, but I think it sounds like all of us really love Matty Way.
Yeah.
I think it's a great record. I think it's just not the one that everybody was expecting.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that's entirely just because Matty Way's not there.
Absolutely.
Like, especially because we had Supreme Void with Matty Way. So like I don't know. Everybody was expecting more of that. I'm sure. I think non-infinite sequence didn't get around as much as Supreme Void did. So yeah, I'm not mad. We didn't even think it would ever come. We didn't think it was ever going to actually exist. So it actually exists. So I'm fucking happy about that.
Nice. Yeah, no. Well, it sounds like we're on the same page with that, though. So I would say, before we start working our way into the outro here, I want to hit you guys with my signature question, I guess.
Oh shit.
Right? You guys are ready for this though, dude. Like, you guys are already talking to me about stuff that's relative, so I want to know. This is valuable stuff. So basically, it is my belief that people either make excuses or they solve problems. How do you guys approach your goals?
I make excuses until I decide it's time to solve the problem.
Nice.
But I'm a procrastinator, so like that's kind of like what it is. But like it always comes down to a moment though where it's like it's do it or don't do it, and like you have to ask yourself that question earlier. Like I think that's I'll give you an example. My hand has been fucked up for a long time, and I have not been able to play guitar. So, and I was so down in the dumps about that. To the point where, that's when I started making other music because, I could either dwell on this and make excuses for me not being productive with my time, or I could force myself to learn a new skill that doesn't require my hand.
Yeah. Staying productive.
So, it took me a while to do that, but I had to come to terms with it eventually. So it's fine to make excuses, I think, but if you don't acknowledge that it's an excuse, and that you should be doing something else, then you're stuck in a loop that will lead you nowhere.
Yes.
I was thinking about I saw some phrase on Facebook a couple weeks ago. I mean, the law of equivalent exchange. I think I learned about this.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, is it a Full Metal Alchemist thing?
Yeah.
So I just think about that all the time now when I'm about to sit down. 9 times, I mean, most of the day you're not having any fun anyway because you're just doing some shit to get through the day.
Right.
So I think about like, you know, if I'm not doing anything or if I'm not sure what to do, like law of equivalent exchange. I could subject myself to a bad time right now and do some work that I maybe don't want to do. And I'm like, you know, guaranteed good time later. And, you know, I think that's a lot of that is mental too. Like,
put in the work now, reap the benefits.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I was working on a song. Was feeling kind of tired, but I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to work through. I'm going to have a bad time, you know, sit myself through it. Torture myself. And then by the end of the day, I was super far. I'd gotten so far that I had like convinced myself in my head that it was Saturday. And then when I realized it was Friday, I felt fucking great.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I still have the whole weekend to do all this other stuff, and I don't even have to press myself for it. That's my, you know, I traded my time earlier, and I got some serotonin for it when I found out it was Friday.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good feeling, right?
That's how I've been approaching this stuff. At least in 2021, I've been thinking about that.
Nice. Yeah, those little sayings and those things, like I was saying, man, they just spark something in the back of your head and get you.
Yeah.
It's profound, it's thought provoking, and it lingers in your thoughts, which is really cool, man. I like stuff like that. Awesome. So where can these fine folks find all your guys' ear candy at? Any events coming up, shows? Obviously, we kind of know what's going on with the shows. You know,
dropped the music video yesterday.
We just put up a video for the song DS3.
Yeah.
It was like a live video from the Tech Trek tour that we did last year.
You can that's probably, I mean, if you've never heard of us, I feel like that's probably what you should look at, right? Yeah. Facebook, nice. Instagram,
Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify.
Yeah, all those
Bandcamp, Last Rated Enemy Records. Their Big Cartel in Bandcamp has a lot of our merch.
Oh, we just put CDs on our Big Cartel. You're in the US, want a CD?
And you don't want the European shipping, you can order directly from the band now.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can vouch for the merch. I got the sick little hat here that I got from you guys, so really like the color.
Stuff coming, right?
What's that?
You have another thing coming too, right?
I was hoping I still got that full print coming, yeah, because that's funny. Yeah, that's kind of how we kind of linked up. Is I was checking up on some shorts I bought from you guys. I don't know if you remember that, but I was like, hey, what went on with that order?
You got a shirt on the way,
yeah. No, I ordered some stuff myself. Like your guys had a bundle on there that had 3 shirts, a CD, and something else. So I already got all that.
Stuff. Yeah, that's coming from Europe.
That takes a minute when it's going from Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
It's all killer stuff, though. I really like the merch.
They sent a package to us, too, for some goodies for us. We've been waiting on it. Takes a minute to get here.
It takes forever to get here from there. And we are the band, and we're in the fucking band.
Right? You guys don't got no pull? That's funny, man. Well, I guess real quick, guys, I'll plug us. So again, the viewers that are you guys not able to see the live stream? My apologies. My apologies to you guys, Noni and Sanjay. I really want to follow up with this, you know, whether it's 6 months or a year from now, after I got the video established. I'm just going to switch video platforms and use what everybody else is using instead of the Zoom. And that way we can kind of just revisit this conversation and just have another good conversation, because I got a lot of value out of this. I think a lot of listeners are going to get a lot of value out of this. Hopefully you guys had fun just chit-chatting with me about this stuff. Sure. So I really appreciate that again. So you guys can, real quick here on the plugs, you guys can find the live streams on YouTube, Facebook, posted content on Instagram and Spotify and Anchor FM. So yeah, like us, share us, follow us, subscribe, give us a little heart emoji and spread the love. But yeah, again, you guys, I can't thank you enough. This has been great. And I just want to flat out thank you guys. And hopefully one day, I look forward to playing a show with you guys and actually shaking your hand and so, yeah, just having a good time, man, getting down on these pits.
Yeah, I hope so.
Cool, guys. Well, you guys stay positive. I like your mindset. I like you guys sound like really solid individuals, and I really enjoy that. And I like talking to people like that. So keep that flow going, man, and reverberate it out to the rest of us. Primordial Chumsock, he said, love y'all's band. Thanks for sharing, dudes. So I'll go ahead and post some of this stuff up. What a name, right? So, all right. Thanks again, guys. You guys are troopers, and thanks for sticking it out for this long podcast. And you guys are definitely savage beasts in this metal scene. So we keep it rolling. We're getting a lot of value out of this, man. So I'm gonna let you guys. Dude, absolutely, it's my pleasure. I will let you guys go and you know, kick back, play some games, and wind down or whatnot. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next time. And until then, I'm gonna hit you guys with the punchline. Keep it contagious and keep it viral. All right, guys. Yeah, take care, man. We'll catch you later.